Hi guys, welcome to my channel. We're going to be watching Scandal. This is not a show that I react to currently. Doesn't mean that I can't do it in the future if that is something that you guys would want me to react to. But because of the previous episode of How to Get Away with Murder, episode 12, the very end of it introduced Olivia Pope, I think they said, and I thought that she was on Scandal, and I asked somebody about it, somebody who watches How to Get Away with Murder, and they said it is part of this crossover, and that I should watch this episode of Scandal first and then watch the episode 13 of How to Get Away with Murder. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm not, if they talk about anything like personally from Scandal, I'm not gonna have any clue what they're talking about, and so I'm probably not gonna understand. But I was told that this is kind of like a standalone episode, so hopefully it won't be an issue. And if I do watch the show later on, it doesn't like spoil me. Now, if there's like a case where Olivia is like maybe gonna die, I'm gonna know that she's fine, because this episode is from season 7, which I guess is the last season. I don't know if the show's still going, but it says episode 7, season 7, episode 12. Let me reintroduce myself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. So yeah. Anyway, after all that rambling, we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode and see what happens. I know Annalise was going to Olivia for help with her case that just got thrown out, and hopefully she can help her get it back. I'm gonna assume that she does, but I don't know. We'll see. But I was told that only Annalise and Michaela are in this episode, so yeah, and that makes sense since Michaela is the one that sent Annalise to Olivia, so it makes sense. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. If you guys would like to follow me on Twitter, would like to get early access to my reactions, would like to watch the full reactions over on my Patreon, the links are down below. Let's get into this episode. Now this is how to Get Away with Murder ended. There she is. I saw Annalise.
People think we lie for a living, but in fact, the truth is often our greatest weapon. Anyone else?
Not knowing they're in a crisis.
Very good. Ms.
Keating. Annalise Keating.
I have no idea who any of those people are.
Miss Pope.
Miss Keating. That was a very informed answer earlier. Spoken from experience?
I'm a defense attorney. I taught at Middleton Law School for years, Professor Keating.
She doesn't know her.
Oh, no. I'm happy that my own business ever caught your attention. I'm representing a class action case that has a potential to reform our entire justice system. I need your help.
I'm not sure how I can. I'm not a practicing lawyer.
I don't need another lawyer. I need this case to be fast-tracked to the United States Supreme Court.
I don't know if you've heard, but I've been out of the White House for a few months now.
The news said you left on good terms.
I did, but I'm sort of enjoying my break from politics.
Who's talking politics? I'm talking justice. Ending the new Jim Crow. Yeah, read this case file. Just look it over. You can say no then. Miss Pope, our country's in crisis. Together we can fix it.
Sorry, was there something else?
You're Googling Liv again, aren't you?
She's teaching college.
Teaching? Well, you know what they say. Those who can't do.
Oh, you're bad.
Liv's worse. Good riddance, right?
Right.
I sense some bad blood. I'm assuming knowing that she's not in the White House anymore is a spoiler for me for the future of watching this show.
It's Annalise Keating. Annalise Keating, the top defense attorney and badass professor from Middleton University in Philly, of course. I applied to law school there because of her. She's a beast.
Google says she's a criminal.
She's been accused of some things. But haven't we all?
Sure. I hate being out of the loop.
She wants my help on a case. Class action suit. Defendants are incarcerated due to
Overworked public defenders, yeah. I read about this. You taking it on?
No. You serious?
Black men going to prison because their constitutional rights have been violated. Yeah, I'm serious.
Marcus, I'm not in the game anymore.
Right.
I just don't think I can do it.
Then don't do it. Do nothing. Waste your life. I gotta go.
Marcus, why do you...
Why do I return your calls? Show up for drinks? Come over to watch the game?
Yeah, after everything that happened, why are you here?
We're black. Which means I'll always be here for you and I'll always root for you. That's how we do.
I'm guessing that she lied about leaving on good terms.
It's a good case. Your brief is strong, the injustices are clear, it's evident these prisoners' constitutional rights are being violated. Some of their stories are quite moving.
I sense a buck coming.
But there is one problem. You, Annalise Keating, can't be the face of this. I did a little research. Murdered husband, stint in jail.
I was wrongfully accused, just like many of my plaintiffs.
Your tenure at Middleton was nullified. You were almost disbarred for alcoholism.
I'm sober now.
Miss Keating, you'd be the national press's featured entree for almost a month of news cycles. Arson charges for dinner, murder for dessert. Even if I was able to spin this rather colorful history of yours, you'd still have to pull off a miracle to get the Supreme Court to come anywhere near this case.
So you're saying I'm a hot mess?
Yes.
I thought you were able to move mountains. That's why I came here looking for you. Your reputation was supposed to speak for itself.
Have a safe trip back to Philadelphia. If we're gonna work together, then there's one thing you need to understand. This is my town, my game, my rules. Understood?
Understood.
Why do you need our help?
It's a big case, huge fight. I can't do it alone.
Olivia Pope asking for help. That's a first.
I did not come here for forgiveness. But I also know that you want to change the world. That it sickens you that there are people in this country who are literally punished because of disadvantages they were born into. That is why you started this institute, to give them hope that their American nightmare can become an American dream. That's what you've done. That's why I'm here. So yes, Olivia Pope is asking you, Fitz, for help.
I'm not early. I'm ready.
Good morning.
Morning.
Miss Pope, it is such an honor.
This is my associate, Michaela Pratt.
I cannot even begin to express how much this means to me.
You must be Annalise.
Yes, hello, Mr. President.
Call me Fitz.
No, thank you, sir, Mr. President.
Hi there. I'm
44.
sorry.
44. 44, the president. 44.
That's me.
Mr. President, before we get started, we wanted to thank you for agreeing to help. This issue is...
An important one, I know. Fortunately, President Grant thinks so too.
President Grant?
That'd be the other President Grant.
She agreed to meet with us?
She has.
That's fantastic.
If we can get the White House behind our case, then the Supreme Court will add us to their docket. No question.
Let's get to work.
You and I are in agreement, Miss Keating. The system does need to change. But it's not going to happen this way.
Madam President, it's a solid case. If only the White House put pressure on the justices to hear it.
Don't get me wrong. I like the case. I just don't like the court. You put this case before the current roster of judges, you won't win.
About the work
Madam
that I've
President,
done.
may I speak to you privately?
Olivia, let's not.
No, it's okay. Let's. Please, everyone, give us the room.
Why did you agree to take this meeting if you knew you were going to say no?
First of all, I agreed to this meeting as a favor to Fitz. And secondly, I didn't say no. I said not now.
This is not the time to punish me.
The only reason you want this case to happen now is because you need a win. You need a win while there's still a chance for you to scrape back some influence in this town, beyond the occasional teaching gig, that is.
Madam President, I don't...
Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time you stood in this room and lied to my face.
I repeat, I
We're going
hate
to the
being out of the
Supreme Court with or
loop. I have
without
no
you.
idea what is
You
going
do
on.
that, you will find yourself an adversary of the White House.
Wouldn't be the first time for that either.
Look, here's the deal. If Liv's able to score a win with this case, it'll clear a path for her, right back into the halls of power. Are you really going to tell me you're willing to stand by and let that happen?
What'd you talk about?
What do you think we talked about? We talked about you.
Me.
You think the president doesn't get a full briefing on every person who sets foot in her office, especially when that person's got a past like yours? And at least she'd made up her mind before you even opened your mouth. That woman is impossible.
She's passionate about the case.
And I'm not passionate about the case. It's not my fault. Melly has chosen to be petty.
It's not Annalise's fault either.
The 14th Amendment guarantees equal protection under the law, which is simply impossible if public defenders are unable to meet the same standards as their privately paid counterparts. The Supreme Court must act to correct that injustice.
Which leaves these 6. We get 4 of them on our side, and Annalise Keating is done.
Innocent people are willfully going to jail simply because they're poor.
There's no doubt the system is broken, but should the federal government get involved in a state program?
Absolutely not, which is why I will rule to send the case back to the Pennsylvania Circuit Court.
3 down, 1 to go. So it all rests on
Justice Mark Spivey.
Of course, he's always the swing vote. Wild card. There's no telling what he'll do, and he never reveals how he's ruling beforehand.
Just got off the phone with Spivey's law clerk, and he agrees with you, Liv. With a little more media push, he can be swayed.
Good. Let's set up a sit down for me and Noah Baker.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, you're right. It should be a woman.
I should do it.
You.
Yes. It's my case. Put me on camera.
If I do that, they will tear you apart, bring up all your past sins.
Fine, bring it on. I'm tired of hiding in the shadows. Truth is our greatest weapon. You said so yourself.
Truth can be unpredictable. At this point, what's most important is staying on message and selling this to Justice Spivey.
Just like you sold it to President Grant?
Are you questioning my tactics?
Should I be?
How about you both do the interview together?
Excuse me?
Annalise, you can convey the passion behind the case, tug at Spivey's heartstrings. And if the interview begins to take a turn towards personal issues, then Miss Pope, you can steer it back to what's most important. This case, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Retract the clause, ladies.
Okay.
Fine.